Wasn't that fun? Hi, my name's Timmy Joe, making videos about computers on the internet. Oh, isn't she a beaut? Hell yeah, it's a little unstable on my lazy Susan. But yeah, new build for the set PC. Basically, my video editing computer. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to pull the graphics card out of it. I don't want to meddle around with it. It is there to do work in the corner, and I have plenty of other PCs to mess around with, switch video cards out, do testing, full test bench, and all that good stuff. So the Ryzen 1700 clocked at 3.9 gigahertz with the Noctua NHD 15 and the cool Chromax stuff on there. It's going to stay in there. 32 gigs of Crucial Ballistics. Can barely even see it in there. Had to do some custom work on the fan. The freaking thing barely fits in there, that Chromax. Like, I'm actually surprised I can get the door closed, but hell, it works. And I put any blue LED in here I could, fans-wise and stuff like that. Most stuff's RGB. There is a little bit of RGB going on. That's what we're here to talk about today. Another NMX product. I know that I just did the review on their case not too long ago, or maybe even a couple last video maybe even. But I wanted to do this, get this done, and this is the set PC. It's going to sit in the corner. It's going to look pretty and video edit, and it'll be fun. So I want to talk about these fans, mostly because they sent them to me, which is awfully nice of them. But turns out they're a heck of a good value. And, you know, I put them in here, the perfect 3-fan exhaust in the Inwin 303. And what else we got in this thing? The Gigabyte Aorus Gaming K7, which is like one of the best Ryzen boards. I did a video about that. All the video, you know, all the stuff I'm talking about will pop up in cards over here. But also a GTX 960 2GB edition, because you don't need a crazy good video card for video editing and picture editing and stuff. You just need like a fairly modern video card, Maxwell, you know, little budget, whatever. That way it'll stay in there. I might take it out to do a little review on it at some point, but I picked it up on a little trade on Kijiji, and thought that would be the best card to throw in there. Make sure I don't really care about switching it out. And hell, if I want to play a little PUBG or something on this system, it's totally possible. So we're here to talk about the Intermax fans, and boof, here they are. They're the TB RGB, and they sent it over to me. You know, just full disclosure, I get sent products a lot, and if I play around with it and it's just crap, or there's something really wrong with it, I'm not going to go to my way to like really shun a product unless it's just absolutely terrible. But I review the good stuff, and this is totally worth talking about because there's some really good points about it, and then in the end, the cost is a really awesome factor on it. So let's go ahead and check this out. So it comes with in a kit of 3. At least this one does, and it's all of your, you know, Aura, RGB, ASRock, MSI Mystic compatible. That's because not only does the little controller it comes with come with a remote and an IR blaster, and you can, you know, mess around with it like that. But if we check out down here, it actually has a lot of plugins. One of them being you can plug it straight into an RGB header on your motherboard, and then control, you know, it that way. That way it will sync with your motherboard software. That's pretty cool. Or you can just use this, and there's a button right on this thing that says like motherboard on or off, so you can do that. And then what's cool about this too is that there's spots to plug in a whole whack of extra fans. I think in total you can do 8 fans, but they have to be the Enermax fans because it's a non-standard header. That's probably the only downside of this system. But that makes it so there's only one cable. There isn't an RGB cable and a fan header. And what's cool about that is you can control the speed of the fan on this remote. So that's pretty awesome. So you have that option there. But I guess as far as controlling fan speed in your BIOS and stuff like that, that kind of goes out the window. You have to use the remote to do that. But there's also two other spots to plug RGB stuff in. So I have a little light on the bottom there. You see it's been changing colors. A little light strip that's plugged into the controller itself, and it will change colors, along with, here, boop, boop. There we go. It'll change colors in the bottom along with this. So you have, if you don't have a lot of RGB on your motherboard at all, or, if you want to just use this to control all the RGB, you have 2 RGB headers right on the little controller that comes with this system. Now, this isn't... the RGB's gotten pretty fancy as of late. These don't have, like, zone addressable... Let's put it to blue. Here. Boop, there we go. That's the color this system's going to be, by the way. I was going to do all RGB stuff, but I thought that just looks so good. It kind of matches the front of the case. Has some blue there, some, like, minty... kind of tealy blue in there, and then other Enermax fans are on the CPU cooler there. The Vegas ones, they just control lighting with a little button, but just put them in like a light mode just so we have all blue theme in there. But they don't have individually addressable like LEDs, so see some of those crazy ring fans from Thermaltake. They change colors on like different colors all around the fan. Does not have that. Basically, you're stuck to a couple of lighting effects: sparkle, beat, flash, and then you can control the brightness of the LEDs. See, or you can there we go. You can control the fan speed on this thing. But yeah, as far as it having individual, it does not do that. So really good fans as well. Enermax makes really freaking good fans. Like seriously, they're some of my favorite fans. They blow air like crazy, and they typically have just a really good quality about them. They all have like rubber around the edges so that there's no vibration. That stuff's all built in. I really like their fans, but it doesn't matter if I like them if they don't cost. If they're not cost efficient, if they are expensive. Well, they're $59.99 for a set of 3 with the controller. That is very good. Okay, it's not. There are cheaper. There, actually some like Alibaba or like some of those really crazy sites. Even on Amazon, you can find some pretty cheap RGB fans, but they're not going to blow air like these do, and they're not going to have this awesome controller and plug into the motherboard. And these are pretty cool. And then if we check out other, there's those ring fans I was talking about. Those are $89.99, so a whole $30 more. And then even Corsair has a whole whack of different, everything from $75 for 3 all the way up to $120. One individual fan is $34.99. Like, that's pretty expensive. One thing I really like about this, though, is check this out. They have a set of 6, which I'd love to get another 3 of these things because I could fill the bottom up there with some awesome RGB fans and have it all controlled on the same little box. But yeah, for $100 you get 6 of them, and if you remember, for $100 you're only getting 3 of the really good Corsair ones. So pretty good deal all in all. So connecting them was a breeze. The cable management is a little bit better than some of the other fan situations I've dealt with, where there's 2 wires coming off, one going to like a color controller, and the other one's going to your fan headers and stuff like that. It was just pretty simple. Click them in, away you go. There's an IR to use this. You can use it on the motherboard. You can plug more fans into it, albeit they have to be the Enermax ones. And you can plug extra RGB stuff into the freaking thing. So that is super cool. It also came with like magnetic strips to allow you to just You know, as you see in this video, I put some magnets on it, and it just like sticks to the metal of the case. Also, comes with some double-sided tape that you can just put it in the back there. But all in all, it was one of the better RGB fan systems I've dealt with so far. I'd totally say it's a buy. It's a good one. Yeah, if you're in the market for some RGB, they're pretty nice looking fans, especially in the Inwin 303. Doing a nice proper build, but wanted to get that out of the way, get this computer over there so it can start looking pretty and doing what it's supposed to do. Some video editing for the channel. But I'm at Watch Timmy Joe Instagram and Twitter, and Enermax makes really decent stuff. I've said it a bunch of times. They made like the first Threadripper cooler that just blew everything out of the water, and you know, still is probably one of the only Threadripper specific AIOs I've seen. And every one of their fans I've ever received is awesome. It usually has different RPM settings or some sort of color settings you can click with a button like these ones do. I even have their DF Storm fans that like are the most insane blowing fans I've ever like, but they're very, very loud. But if you want to get some cooling on your VRM for some crazy overclocks or testing, I always go to those because you plug them into a fan header and they blow massive amounts of air. So Enermax knows what they're doing, and I give them kudos for that. Thanks for sending this little fan thing over in the channel. And if it was crap, I tell you, but super thumbs up. Just like their, you know, their case, you know, left a little bit to be desired, but you know, their power supplies, their fans, and all their coolers are dead on. It's awesome. So consider that as much as of an endorsement from Timmy Joe or an advertisement as you can get. But they didn't pay me to say that. They sent it to me for review as everyone else receives stuff. I even hate doing that because then I'm kind of obliged to do a review on it. But in this case, they're really damn cool. Get to showcase a build, and yeah, I'll quit mansplaining myself. So at Watch Timmy Joe Instagram and Twitter. Check me out on Instagram. Cool videos of me building computers or my kid. Check me out on Twitter because that's where I do a lot of sneak peeks into the, you know, stuff I'm working on. I always post pictures and like little quips and stuff of the stuff upcoming. I also have a Patreon, which will help me keep ads off this channel. Channel's growing like crazy. We're like a stone's throw from 35,000. I was just saying 30,000 like not even like 3 weeks ago. So growing exponentially, and we'll go back to some custom builds and stuff like that. Video card reviews, as I said, 980 Ti. Lots of stuff kicking around. What do I got? 980 Ti. Oh yeah. I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a fucking good day out there.